Good morning, book lovers of the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because for every subscriber, I get a new subscriber and they also read a page from a book of my choice. So it has come to my attention that it's been a very, very long time since I last made a video and uploaded it to this channel. So in today's video, I am going to be speaking about my fifth week of teaching practice as a whole. I haven't really been uploading because I was busy with some teaching practice work and I was in Gozo with a couple of friends of mine, so I didn't really find the time to record anything or to read much for that matter, so I didn't really have any ideas to upload, but I have just uploaded 10 new shorts for you to watch and enjoy. So make sure to check those out and leave a like and a comment on each and every one of them too. So honestly, I am very glad to say that my teaching practice is finally over. Those 5 weeks weren't easy at all. I still have some paperwork to complete. I'll probably get that done by the end of the day. There is a lot of printing for me left to do, and I should probably also get a haircut because it's been recommended to me by many of my friends, and I kind of agree with them. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the students were all very fun to have in class. It was a lovely experience. However, it was very, very difficult as far as my mental health was concerned. There were many things I had to do and were expected from me, which in a job as a teacher would not really come into play entirely. So it wasn't totally realistic, but at the same time, there were some protocols which university tries to reinforce in order to maintain some authority over schools in Malta, I suppose, and some rules you just have to obey, which I am not entirely against. But yeah, it was a massive burden on my mental health, and I would probably change that if it were up to me. My students were very fun to teach. They were all quite receptive of the information I gave them in class, all the topics we did about language and literature. The homework they handed in did have some problems, which I, of course, pointed out, but overall I was very happy to see their progress from week to week, and some of them really enjoyed my presence in class, and they even told me that they really had fun having a YouTuber teach them, be their student teacher for a couple of weeks. I was given a lot of positive feedback and a lot of words of encouragement from teachers and students alike, and I'm honestly grateful to have gone through something like that. I suppose what doesn't kill you does make you stronger, although I wouldn't really want anybody to go through something like that ever again, but that person will be me next year when I will have to do this all over again in a different school entirely. It took me some time to um, familiarize myself with the community, but what really helped was that I have been a Lasallian my entire life, and the school I attended is also a Lasallian one, so there were many, many values which I could share and apply to the students' lives I was teaching. I was on the other end, I suppose this time around I was the teacher rather than the student, and I can wholeheartedly say that I went full circle. This experience really gave me that opportunity to go full circle, to go from being a student to being a teacher to taking a look at what students think of their teachers and the way I thought of my teachers when I was their age. Um, Honestly, very, very fun. Um, However, yeah, the paperwork was horrible. Took me a lot of time. It was difficult for me to take care of my health both physically and mentally because I had so much to do and so little time to do everything, and I had to put all of my hobbies aside, to be fair, so that really didn't help either. As some of you might know, I really enjoy walking, swimming, cycling, reading, making content for YouTube. I had to put all of those aside just so that I could focus on this. I mean, something that I really learned through following this experience was to fix my problem with procrastination because I had no other choice. I couldn't really delay things, I couldn't postpone things to the following day because every week new work would pop up and it would all just pile on, and I'd have to write about 50,000 words in a couple of days, which is totally unrealistic. So I had to be extremely responsible, get all the work done. I also knew that I had my students to be responsible for, their parents who would have otherwise complained, um, the teachers I was working with, the colleagues, the people I was replacing. A massive shout out to them as well. They were all brilliant. I am very, very grateful to have had such a supportive group of people to help me pursue this career. Um, and this is just the first stage of my experience as a teacher. So I've taught during the summer holidays before, and I think I've been told that I do an amazing job. With this experience, that wasn't entirely the case, but I think I also improved as a teacher. There were some strategies which I wouldn't really have um, been able to apply without the help of others, and the students also really help me understand how I can manage them because most of them really wanted to learn and I wanted to teach. So as much as possible, I tried to keep distractions to a minimum. But yeah, now that I'm done with teaching practice, I am going to definitely be returning to a lot of cycling and a lot of reading. Um, I definitely need to rest a lot and catch up on sleep. There are some shows which I need to watch and will probably review as well. So stay tuned for many, many more videos. So just a bit of a recap. I was teaching three classes, approximately 50 students in total. They found out who I am on YouTube within the first couple of days, and then that really helped them focus more in class because um, I suppose to them it was like watching a YouTube video instead of attending a lesson, so my lessons were a bit of a breath of fresh air for all of them, which isn't something I am going to complain about. I mean, I did get a lot of subscribers thanks to the word of me having a YouTube channel spreading like wildfire, so thank you to everybody who supported this channel during these 5 weeks. It's honestly felt like several months, to be honest. That's how draining it has been. It wasn't an easy experience at all, but then again, it also encourages me to know that very, very few people manage to complete such a thing. And when you compare this to the amount of people in my country and in the world, I am doing something which, yeah, truly a small amount of people are capable of doing. So that just really encourages me to focus more um, to be more diligent with my work in the future and to continue improving and bettering myself as much as possible to change the lives of as many people as possible through the power of the English language. And hopefully, I'll be able to teach as many people to express themselves well and communicate as properly as possible in order for them not to frustrate themselves, to reduce violence, anger in society, because most disputes arise because of people not being able to express themselves properly. I mean, the amount of miscommunication which leads to hand on hand combat and people engaging in horseplay, which eventually also leads to bullying in some cases, both verbal and physical, it's rather fascinating to see, but also horrible. So yeah, I think my main mission during these past couple of weeks was to teach students to express themselves as well as calmly as possible, not to frustrate themselves when they do not know precisely which words to use, which vocabulary to bring up in order to totally put their messages across. I did see a lot of improvement from several students. Some of them started off not participating at all in class, and then they honed up to me and they were participative during all the lessons. They even opted to present. For example, when I had presentations, they spoke in front of their classmates without worrying much about the embarrassment because I that is something I totally can't deal with. People feeling embarrassment when they're speaking in front of an audience. I struggled with that for a very long time, and I don't want other people to feel the same way because I know how horrible it can be. But Yeah, I am grateful to have had this experience. I am also very exhausted and do not look forward to another experience like this one next year. Um, I do still have a lot of work to do in order to completely call this a day. Um, yeah, even my least well-behaved students, um, I saw a slight improvement in. So I had massive shoes to fill, by the way. The teachers I was replacing all have a lot of talent when it comes to doing their job. They've been doing it for several years now, so they all know what they're doing. They can deal with any audience, with any class, and those shoes weren't easy to fill, but I think I managed to um, mimic some of their traits quite well. I am, of course, still not perfect at what I do, but as long as the students enjoy the lessons and as long as they learn something every day through my lessons, it doesn't have to be something big, just a word perhaps, or a phrase, or a date for a historical um, event, for instance, pertaining to English literature and Shakespeare and Macbeth, or poetry even, then my mission is accomplished. So yeah, once again, they weren't an easy 5 weeks. I am both grateful and exhausted, and um, to any of my students watching the videos, which I know that you probably are, but you perhaps haven't made it this far in the video, I would like to thank you all for welcoming me into your classrooms, for accepting the change with your lessons, with your teachers as well, and for even telling me how to do things the way your other teachers would have done them in order to in order for me to be consistent with what I was doing. So thank you so much for welcoming me and making me feel like a part of your community so easily, honestly, making me feel like I was one of you, and you always, every day, made me happy to walk into class and teach you. The worst part of this teaching practice was the time spent in between lessons, just waiting in the staff room, getting things done. That really sapped my motivation, and just staying in the staff room, not doing anything, is probably one of the most horrible parts of the job because I personally can't really get a lot of work done in a crowded and loud environment. And it wasn't really beneficial for me. It wasn't time well spent, but it's just a part of the job, I suppose. But that is all I had to say about my fifth week of teaching practice. To be fair, I only had 8 lessons rather than 16 because there were several activities since um, the holidays have now started, so they were all in preparation of the holidays, just a bit of a cool down before the holidays for the students. So I only had 8 lessons to give, and they practically flew by. Um, but yeah, I think that is all I had to say about my fifth week of teaching practice. If there is something that you think I should explain better, let me know down below in the comment section. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Take a look at the rest of my videos and YouTube shorts because why not? They are absolutely amazing, and more videos are definitely on the way. Today I have several ideas now that I'm back from Gozo. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.